Hello friend, today we are going to discuss about failure modes and effect analysis. That is actually this FMEA is based on the AIAG and VDA version. Means that first edition is published in June 2019. Now in this session we are going to discuss about 7-step approaches in PFMEA. Now first is what are the 7-step approaches? That first one is planning and preparation, second is structure analysis, and step third is functional analysis, and fourth is that is failure analysis. Means first is planning and preparation, second is structure, third is functional, and fourth is failure, and fifth is risk analysis, and sixth is optimization, seventh is result documentation. Planning and preparation, structure, functional, failure, risk, optimization, and result documentation. Now we are going to discuss in detail. In planning and preparation, we are preparing the headers of PFMEA document. That like what are the company name, plant location, customer name, model year, subject, what are the PFMEA start date, revision date, and CFT cross-functional team name, and as well as PFMEA ID number and process responsible person and confidentiality level. This we are going to this we need to mention in planning and preparation step. Now second is structure analysis. In previous AIAG 4th edition, that's process step and process function. Now process step and function is become the structure analysis. That is in new FMEA, that is AIAG and VDA. That is first is process item, like what are the system, subsystem, and component level, and second is process step, that is station number or process name, and third is process work element, that is in forum type level. Now means in AIAG that's what the process step, and process function is now become structure analysis, that is process item, process step, and process work element. Now in structure analysis, actually structure analysis purpose of the process structure analysis to identify, break down the manufacturing system into process item, process step, and process work element. This is for the because of the visualization of the analysis scope, structure tree are equivalent, like PFD, and collaboration between customer and supplier engineering team, basis for the function analysis. Now step third is the function analysis. Function analysis in AIAG 4th edition was process step and function. That is in one column. Now that is the function analysis. What are the function of the process item? Means system, subsystem, and component. And what are the function of the process step and product characteristic? Like qualitative value is optional, quantitative value is optional, and means we need to focus on qualitative. And third is what are the functions of processes and element, process work element, and process characteristic. Means we need to focus on product characteristic and process characteristic, as well as function of the process item. This is the function analysis. In the main objective of the process function analysis is visualization of product and process function, and function tree or net or equivalent process flow diagram, as well as associated of requirement of characteristic to function, and collaboration between engineering team, system, safety, and component, like this. Basis for the failure analysis step. Now next step is failure analysis. In failure analysis, in AIAG 4th edition was potential failure mode, potential effect of failure, severity means severity number, and what are the class, that is major, minor, like that, and potential causes or mechanism of failure. Now this becomes new FMEA, that is the failure analysis. In failure analysis, in new FMEA AIAG plus VDA version, that was the failure effect, and next is the severity of failure effect and failure mode of the process step, and what are the causes of failure mode or failure causes of the work element. Now next, in failure analysis, the purpose of process failure analysis to identify failure causes, modes and effects. Means we need to focus on what are the failure modes, causes, failure modes and their effect. Means what are the failure modes and what are their causes and what are their effects. We need to focus on that. Means we need to establish the failure chain. Potential failure effect, failure mode, failure causes for each process's function. Identification of failure causes using a fishbone diagram. Collaboration between customer and supplier failure effect. Now, in failure analysis, we need to focus on what are the failures. Means failure of process step deducted from the product and process characteristic, like non-conformity, like inconsistency or partial execution of the task, or unintentional activity, or unnecessary activities. In failure chain, in mid of the failure mode, what are their causes, means why this failure mode occurs, and what are their effect, means why, when, what happened, actually what happened due to this failure mode, what happened. We need to focus on this. Next is failure effect. Failure effect is related to function of process item, system, subsystem and part, element or name of the processes. Like we need to focus on internal customer, external customer, legislative bodies and product or process or product, end user and operators. Like failure effect can given a severity rating according to the your plant. Means what are the effect of the failure mode assuming the defect is detected in the plant. Then what action will be taken to scrap, like part to be scrapped. Next is ship to plant. The effect of the failure mode assuming the defect is not detected before shipping to next plant. What action will be taken, like sorting, that is the ship to plant. Next is end user. The effect of the process item effect, what will be the end user notice or feel or hear or smell, like window resist too slow. Now the following questions should be asked to help determine the potential impact of failure effect. First is, does the failure mode physically impact downstream processes or causes potential harm to equipment or operator? And second is, what is the potential impact on end user? And third one is, what would be happen if failure effect was detected prior to reaching the end user? These three questions we need to ask. Now next step is step fifth, that is risk analysis. In previous AIAG 4th edition, risk analysis was the severity, clause and potential causes of mechanism, occurrence rating and current process control like prevention, current process control like detection and detection rating and RPM. Now in new FMEA like AIAG plus VDA, now become is like current prevention control. What is the current prevention control? What is failure effect? And first is failure analysis, that is already completed. Now risk analysis. In risk analysis, what are the current prevention control of failure cause and what are their occurrence of failure cause, and current detection control of failure cause and failure mode both, and what are the detection rating. And next is FMEA action priority. What is the action priority? In place of the RPN now uses the term of action priority. And what is the special characteristic and FMEA coding is, if any. Now in risk analysis, the purpose of risk analysis is to estimate risk by evaluating severity, occurrence and detection. Like current prevention control. What are the current prevention control? In process planning, like current prevention control is, in case of process planning, current prevention control facilitate optimal process planning to minimize the possibility of failure occurrence. Means prevention of possible layout deficiency of the product facility. Like example is test run according to startup regulations. In case of production process, the current prevention control is eliminate or prevent the failure cause or reduce its rate of occurrence. Now some of the example of the prevention of the defectively produced part in production facility, like two-hand operation of machine, subsequent part cannot be attached in Poka, equipment maintenance, operator maintenance, work instruction, visual aid, machine controls, and first part release. Now next is current detection control. Detection control actually controls the detect the existence of a failure cause or failure mode, both by automated or manual method before the item leaves the process or shipped to customer. Like visual inspection with sample checklist, like optical inspection with camera system, and attribute test with mandate, like dimension check with the caliper gauges, random inspection, torque monitoring, press load monitoring, end of line production check. Now next is the evaluations, like severity. What are the rating of severity, occurrence and detections? Now next step is optimization. In step 5th, we also calculate the action priority. Means we need to evaluate the severity, occurrence and detection ranking, and multiplied or selecting the ranking of the severity, occurrence and detection, we find out the action priority, means that is high, medium or low. Now next is the next step is optimization. In previous version of the AIAG 4th edition, it was the recommended action and responsibility and target and completion date and action result, like action taken, like what are the revised severity, occurrence, detection and RPN number. Now in new FMEA, AIAG and VDA version, the optimization is what are the preventive action, detective actions, responsibility, it means responsible person name, target date of completion, status, and action taken with the evidence. And next is the completion date, and what are the revised severity, occurrence and detection, as well as special characteristic and action priority number. These are the new FMEA AIAG plus VDA guideline as per. Now means optimization step, that is recommended actions and responsibility, target and their action taken, and severity, occurrence and RPN is replaced with the recommended action, replaced with the preventive action, detective action, responsible person name, means type of preventive action, detective action, responsible person name, target completion date, status, action taken, completion date, and revised severity, occurrence, detection, as well as FMEA action priority. Now next is optimization, like visualization of the process analysis. Means the primary objective of optimization is to develop action that reduce the risk and increases customer satisfaction by improving the design or process. The FMEA can be used as the basis of continuous improvement of the design or process. that already explained. Now next step is step number 7, that is result documentation. Like we need to documented and communicated of implemented measure to reduce risk assessment of the effectiveness of the action taken. Now we need to document the things that we are the identified. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe the content.